From the humble beginnings of civilization through the historical ages of progress, mankind has lived, fought, and built together in nations. Great nations protect and provide for their own, while fighting and competing against both other nations and nature itself. Nations must provide food and stability as the population increases. They must build a productive economy, and all the while they must amaze the world with their great achievements and build up their heritage to become the greatest nation in the history of mankind. This is Nations the Board Game. Roll the intro.
And we're back. So welcome back to the lab, and we are going to play Nations the board game. So we're trading in our dice in exchange for tiles, tokens, and meeples. So what do we have? So we have the board game version of the dice game that I had played, I believe last week, that I just posted. So if you watch that, this should seem very similar in flavor, but very different in play style. So but it's the same goal. We're going for victory points here, right? So we're gonna play the solitaire mode, and the solitaire mode is quite different than the multiplayer version, where we're going to play sort of an AI opponent that's not really going to do anything strategic. It's just going to be governed by dice rolls to determine what type of actions it takes, and also these AI tiles for each age that are going to determine sort of the opponent's, his war, his stability, and how many books he gets every round, and what happens on certain dice rolls, aside from killing my whole column of progress cards. But let me just jump into what we've done as far as setup, just so you understand where we're starting from. So I've got all the 4 ages of tiles, AI tiles, shuffled. We're both going to start at 0 stability and 0 war. I'm going to be the first player. I'm playing it on Prince difficulty, which during the growth and production rounds, or growth and resource rounds, you get you get to choose one of these types of resources and get 3 of them. So we are starting in the Age of Antiquity. It's going to be 2 rounds per age. We'll score books at the end of each age. If I'm ahead of the AI in books, then I get 3 victory points. If not, I get nothing. At the end of each round, I'm going to have to check to see if I'm ahead of my opponent in stability. If I'm tied or below, I lose a victory point. If I'm ahead, I gain one. So if I ever go negative victory points at any point in this game, I lose immediately. It's not cool. War we'll go through once I get started, but that's essentially the setup of the scoreboard. The nation I chose for this playthrough is going to be Rome. I'm using side B of the cards, which makes each nation a little bit unique. So Rome's special bonus is that they get to start with a war rating of 2. Which is nice, so I'll move my token up to 2 in the war rating, so we don't actually both start at 0. I've got 2 food, 6 stone, 6 gold, and 4 victory points to start. I believe that's 4, right? Yeah, that's 4. And your standard 5 workers. And all of my starting progress or production technologies, and that's all basic. So with that's the setup. We will, I guess, just jump in and start the round sequence. Alright, so the round sequence is going to go as follows. I'm going to move the turn marker, which is already good for the first round. I'm going to refill the progress cards. And for this playthrough, and for any of the solitaire playthroughs of this game, we're only going to use the first 4 columns to put out progress. Progress cards, right? So we're going to fill all 3 rows, but only up to the 4th column. And this will be our starting pool of progress cards that we get to choose from. Now the progress cards come in a number of different flavors. If you play the game, you're quite familiar with it. If you watch my dice game video, they're the same. The colors represent the same thing, except I believe this one they have like battles and wars and stuff, so that's going to be a little bit different. But so our orange is our advisors, greens are colonies, brown is going to be our wonders that we're going to have to build with architects. Black is the war, gray are battles, and blue are our standard, like production facilities, if you will. But that's it. So we've seeded the progress board, and now we get to our growth or bonus resource phase, and this is where, being on Prince difficulty, I get to choose either an extra worker, but I'm gonna have to pay the penalty for using that extra worker, and it's gonna be a penalty in food or in stability. Or I can take 3 of any extra resource. So I think what I'll do, considering I am probably going to do a lot of purchasing, maybe I'll take gold. I'll probably take 3 extra gold this round, just to start. I have 2 food. It's not much, but I do have an aqueduct that'll produce 2 food, and we get to produce before we actually have to pay the famine cost, so we probably will be okay. It's a gamble, but not really a big one. So that's it for the growth and bonus. Now we draw an event tile. The event tile is going to be what the opponent is going to start with for this round. So the first number is his military might for this round is going to be 3. The second number is his stability level, which is going to be 1. And every round, these numbers are going to be what the values are that for each of these respective things. So for war, if I pull a 6 card next time, I'm not adding it to his 3, I'm just moving him to 6, right? We're going to get 3 architects in the pool. Now with books, these are cumulative, so these are different. I'm going to move up on the board his starting books from 2 to 6 now. So I'm going to add those 4 books onto it. So this is the only one here that's cumulative, right? The famine cost at the end of the round is going to be 2. If the AI rolls a 5, we're going to lose an architect from the pool, and if he rolls a 6, he's going to gain 1 stability. Now remember, I got to stay ahead of him in stability, so I'm going to put this on the board, and that'll be there for reference throughout this turn. So once you pull the AI event card, I get to take my action. So how is that going to work? So basically, I'm going to I have options to either, purchase cards from here, deploy workers, get an architect for a wonder that I'm building. But for certain actions that I take, the opponent, the AI, is going to get to roll a d6. And that d6 is going to determine what actions that he's going to take. So if I, for example, I'll tell you exactly what there's 3 different things that I do that will make him roll that die, right? If I deploy a worker to military, he gets to roll the die. If I purchase a card, he gets to roll a die. If I buy an architect, he gets to roll the die. Anything else I do, he does not get to roll that die. What's the significance about rolling that die? Other than those 2 actions on the event tile, if the AI rolls a 1, 2, 3, or 4, that respective column of cards gets wiped off the board. If there is a war in that column, that war becomes the active war at the military strength of the AI. So that could be very bad for me if I'm trailing in military strength. So right now, if the AI rolled a 3, this war will become the active war at strength 3. I'm at strength 2 military. I know that I would need to beef up my military to be above that in order to not be affected negatively by that at the end of the round. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I may want to start a war if the AI's military is, through the roof. So with all that said, what can I do? Now I can take some cards. I think would probably be the best bet. So I wanna boost my production, obviously, right? The only advisor out here is Boudica, and if you have a military meeple, remove. And I don't like if I have military deployed, I get to remove. I don't want to do that. So I don't want to use her. So I'm gonna leave her on the board. I don't have any military, so I can't conquer Hispania which would be nice to get a colony that produces every round, but I think at this stage, I'm going to stick with my Legionnaire for my military, but I'm going to pull some cards. I think I'm going to get some stone. So I'm going to pay 2 gold, and I'm going to buy this forge, because I want to beef up my stone production, right? So this produces stone and food, so I'll put it over my farm, so it's going to replace that space. But because I bought a card, the AI gets to roll automatic. So he rolls a 2. Because he rolls a 2, he automatically kills the second column. And because there's a war card in the second column, the opponent has started the Parthian Wars. So the Parthian Wars, if I lose this war, I lose 3 gold and a victory point, which I don't want to do. So I need to get above a 3 military rating. That shouldn't be too hard, considering I have a Legionary. Well, that will give me 3 combat, but I won't do that yet. Because if I deploy now, so the immediate reaction would be, oh, I need to get my war up. But if I do that, he's going to get to roll again and potentially blow out another row of cards. So I want to get all my purchases out of the way as soon as I can, to hopefully get this done. So now the Colosseum would be good. It's going to cost me some food when I build it, but it will permanently boost my war rating by 3. So that would give me a base war rating of 5 without doing anything. Oh, that's kind of a good card, I think. Now, I don't know why I bought that forge. I should have bought that granary. Now that I look at it. Well, no, because I wanted more. So this will give me 2 food, 1 stone versus 2 stone, 1 food. That's why. I read that backwards. Do I want the lighthouse? That's going to give me a gold every round. I don't have the military strength. I think I'll buy one of these. I think I'll buy the Colosseum. Yeah, we're a war nation, so I'll pay 1 gold. It's a cheap one. Take the Colosseum, put it in the Wonder Under Construction box. Roll the die. He rolls a 3, so this whole row gets wiped. Now there is another war card in here, but because there's already an active war, he doesn't get to do anything with it. It's just gone. So, what do I want to do next? Do I want to buy another card? Probably not. What I can do, and I'll show you that, I can spend 1 stone, right? Spend the cost of deploying a worker, 1 stone, put a worker on the aqueduct, and that's going to automatically give me 1 stability. And it's not going to trigger him to roll because, like I said, only those certain actions I take are going to do that. So only if I deploy a worker to the Legionary, right? So I'm going to pay another stone, put somebody on the forge, pay another stone, get somebody on the quarry. So I want to get all my workers, deployed. Do I want to buy another card? I could say, do I want the granary? But I need a source of gold because I'm going to need to buy more cards. And I'm assuming that there's going to be better cards next round, so I'm not going to buy that granary. I don't want that advisor. I can't build another wonder right now because he's got because I've already got one being built. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy an architect. The architect's going to cost me what the first architect space in the wonder costs. So that's 2 stone. So once they pay 2 stone to get 1 architect, pay 2 stone to get a second architect. And then this is ready. So I'm going to place my first architect on it. It's going to cost me 2 stone. I only have 3 left, so I'll get 1 back, and that's not enough to deploy another one this round, so I'll have to wait till next round, but he gets to roll a die because I purchased an architect. He rolls a 6. 6 gives him 1 stability. That's the absolute worst thing that he could have rolled there. Oh. Alright, so I've got 1 stone left. I have to pay this stone to deploy my military, right? That military is going to cost me 1 food in the production phase, but it's going to give me 3 combat right off the bat. So that's 1, 2, 3, up to 5. Now I'm above the war, so the war's not going to negatively impact me. I can't deploy this worker because I'm out of stone. So he's going to roll. Doesn't really matter because he rolled a 2, but I'm done, so he could have blown out anything and it wouldn't have affected me. So once I pass, now it's back to me, I pass. He doesn't get a roll after I pass. But the round is essentially over, right? So now what we do is we produce. What do I want? Do I want more gold? Do I want, I don't have a choice here. So this is how you produce. So you have to start with gold in the production order. So you look at all your cards that you have workers assigned to. So I only have one that's going to generate gold. So the quarry is going to get me 1 gold. So I take a gold. Then you produce food. So I've got 1 food, minus 1 food is 0, plus 2 food is 2 food. So I get to take 2 food, so now I have a total of 4 food. Now I do stone. 1, 2, 3 stone gets produced. And books. Do I have any books being produced? Nope, no books. So that's production. Player order. Whoever's got the higher war value goes to player 1. I have a higher war value. I stay as player 1. I get +1 victory point. This is where we check stability. The AI is ahead of me in stability. And let me just zoom out so you can see that. So there's the scoreboard. So the AI has got 2 stability to my 1. Because I'm not ahead of him, I lose a victory point. And that'll happen every round, so I have to work to get ahead of him. Even if I'm tied, I still lose. And then we'll check famine. So on the AI tile, famine is 2 food. So I have to pay 2 food out of my pool. Take 1 change, so now I've got 2 left. And I've satisfied the famine requirement. We don't score books yet until after next round, so that ends round 1 of Age of Antiquity. Let's move on to round 2. Okay, so for round 2, we're going to blow out the 2 bottom rows of progress cards, and we're going to slide the remaining ones from the top row down. We're going to take we're still in Age 1, so we're still going to seed it with Age 1 cards, and we're going to just fill in the rest. And as I'm dealing these out, I just realized that I did not address the war. So after player order, I was supposed to get rid of the war card. So because I was ahead of it, it really has no impact on me. It only really matters if I'm below that war rating, and so I just reset the war. So not a big deal. It doesn't really mean anything. So I've just seeded the deck. Before I draw the next tile, I get to do the growth and bonus resource. So I get to choose my starting resources again, as you remember. So I'm going to take stone this time. So I'll take 3 stone. So now I've got a pool of 6 stone, which is good. I'll take 1s instead because I need to move some guys around this round, I think. Okay, so now I choose the tile. We'll take the second tile for the first age. And here are his new levels. So he's a 6 combat this time, which is ahead of me. He gets 1. He's at 1 stability, not added to it, but he goes to 1. We get 1 architect this round, so just 1 in the pool. 2 books he gets, so he's up to 8 books now. He's killing me in books, and the famine's only 1 food this round, so that's really good. So we'll leave that there, and now we go into our action phase. So we'll take our actions now. What do we want to do? We only need 1 more architect to finish the Colosseum, which would be nice, but I don't have to do that yet. I want to make sure I get my cards off the table as soon as possible. So I like this Confucian Academy because it'll give me +2 to my stability, and I need stability, so I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it now. I just hope he doesn't. I'm dumb. Just trying to think of where I want to put it, actually. So, because I want to lose a stone when I put it here. Alright, so I'm going to pay a gold. I'm going to take the Confucian Academy. And I'm going to put it over my quarry. Now this worker comes back down here. Because I bought a card, he's going to get to roll. He rolls a 2, so he always gets the rows I've been eyeing. You know, every time I think I want to do something, he goes and he blows that row out and he ruins all my plans. It's just always, doesn't matter. Alright, so he's done. I'm going to deploy, it's going to cost me 1 stone to deploy a worker to the Confucian Academy to give me 2 stability off the bat, and I'm going to earn gold at the end of the round. He doesn't get to go yet because I deployed a worker, not military. Do I want to buy more military? There's some good cars. I have a combat of 5, so I can attack Nubia, and I think I will. I don't like any of these advisors, so I'm not going to pay for them, but I'm going to spend 3 gold, and I'm going to attack Nubia. And the way that works is, if I have a combat of 3, greater than or equal to 3, and my war is at 5, so I'm ahead of it, you know, I conquer Nubia, and it's going to become one of my colonies. And this colony is going to give me 2 gold every production phase, so that's good. That's gonna do nicely for me. So, but I bought a card, so he gets to go again. He rolls a 2. Good. He hit the junk row. So, what do I want to do? I need to buy. Oh boy, I need food. So, whew, I'm really gonna need food this round. Well, I only need 1 food for this famine, so. Right now I'm at a net 2 food. But once I build this Coliseum, it's going to cost me 2 food. So I have 3 gold left. I could do Golden Age to get some books. I probably should. I mean, the problem is there's no production out here that's going to get me more books, which is what's annoying. So. Do I want to do that? Actually, I want Sun Tzu. I'm going to spend these 3, get 2 back. I'm going to buy Sun Tzu. I thought he was somebody else, but this is a great card. He's going to give me, on my, action on your first turn, each round, I take 2 actions. So he's going to give me 2 actions on my first turn of every round, which is huge. He rolls a 6, and he gets 2 books. Wow, this guy's just tearing away. So I don't think I'm going to catch him this round in books, so I'm not going to get that 3 victory point bonus. So might as well go for something else. I don't want that forum, even though it is quite nice. Yes. But do I want extra food or extra stone this round? Probably extra food. I'm just thinking of where I want to deploy another worker, right? Do I want to put him here and get some extra gold? I think that might not be such a bad idea. Or, you know what? No, I'm gonna deploy him to the aqueduct. That's gonna cost me 1 stone. But that's gonna give me 1 more stability to bring me to 4. AI doesn't get to go because I deployed a worker, but I'm gonna purchase the last architect for 2 stone. I'll pay 2 stone, and this last architect is going to finish my Colosseum. So what the Colosseum says is when it's ready, I pay 2 food, but it's going to give me a constant bonus of 3 war. 1, 2, 3. I'm up to 8. I'm going to pay 2 food. I'm out of food right now. I've got 2 gold and 2 stone left. AI rolls, gets a 1, wipes this off. And what else can I do? Do I want to purchase anything else? I could purchase the Sphinx. That's not a bad wonder. So I'll pay 1 gold. It's cheap. I will purchase the Sphinx. Put him in my construction queue. Roll the die. He rolls a 1. Gets nothing. I don't need to deploy anything. I think that's about all I can do. I don't have any more money, so I'm going to end my turn. And that's going to end round 2. So now that our action phase is over, we are going to produce. So we produce gold first. So we've got 2, 3. 3 gold. Not a bad round. Food. This is what's important now. 1 minus 1 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. I've got 2 food now. Stone. 2 stone. Take my 2 stone. And books. I've got no books. Alright, so that's production. So after production, we do player order. I'm ahead in war. So let me pull this out so you can see the full board. So I'm ahead in war. And the AI has 6 to my 8, so I stay as player 1, which is good. So I want to stay in player 1. War, there was no war, fortunately. He didn't start a war. Now we check our stability. I'm ahead this time, so wow, I get a victory point. What do you know? So I got my victory point, and we check famine. Famine is 1 food. I will pay my 1 food for famine. And now that this is, actually I forgot to move this marker, so this was the second round, right? So now that we're at the end of this age, we would score books. I have 1 book still, so I don't get an extra 3 victory points. So I need to really get my butt in gear when it comes to scoring some books here. So if I want any chance of ending this with a decent score, I'm going to need some books. So that ends the Age of Antiquity. So join me next time for the second age, Medieval, in Nations the Board Game. Thanks for watching.